Welcome to the All About TRH podcast, aka All About the Real Housewives, aka All About the Truth. It's been 5 years since former Real Housewives of New Jersey star Siggy Flicker opened up about her experience on New Jersey. And for the first time ever in this part 2 interview, Siggy doesn't hold back. She talks more on what happens behind the scenes and how production has protected Margaret Josephs. She touches on the end of her friendship of 25 years with Jenn Fessler and talks about her experience with the cast when she filmed. Housewives act different towards you when you left the show?
I didn't see them, so I can't.
That's so interesting. So, you just stopped talking to them?
Yes, I had made a decision with my husband. My husband gave me, said, Siggy, this is it. And I knew that once I left the show, what am I, their whole life is based on filming.
Yeah.
When they're not filming, they're spending time with their family. And when they're, it's a hectic thing. And I said, listen, once I leave the show, I'm out. I'm out. And also, unselfish. I know it's going to sound weird, but I also did it for them. They have a job. Yeah. When you're outing production and you're taking a risk like me and speaking the truth, if I'm outing production and you're still working with production and they see, oh, so you still like Siggy Flicker? You're still hanging out with the rat who's outing us out? Okay. They're going to be afraid of what's going to happen to them in the editing room.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so one connects with the other. So like I said, I'm a very strong person. I have a very strong family unit and I have a very strong friend unit. I mean, once I walked away, I walked away. But, from time to time, I have spoken to, a few of the housewives, and other housewives from other franchises have called me and they're like, man, you have balls. You have balls.
I remember your letter. It was like you literally called out Sirens Media and
100%.
You said it all on there. I mean, not what you're telling us. You're telling us stuff that I didn't even know about. But you did say it was a very hostile environment.
I said it. I said it. And James Leonard submitted it. He goes, are you sure, Siggy? Are you sure? Yeah. And I said, yes. And I remember getting a phone call from Andy and he goes, I'm sad that you didn't have a good experience. And I'm going to say this because I don't want anybody to think that the production company and Bravo did everything under the sun to try to make me happy. There were phone calls daily, weekly. I was saying to them, I want this to be documented that I am being harassed by production and I'm a strong girl. I was born in a bomb shelter during the 6-Day War. I am not I'm afraid. That's not me.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight with anybody, but if I have to fight, let me just tell you something. I'm walking out of there, I'm giving it my all. My problem was always with 3-4 producers who were having dinner and hanging out with certain housewives and no one would call them out on it because they were afraid that it would affect their edit. I was like, screw this.
Yeah. And that would drive me crazy. That would drive me bonkers.
Drive me crazy because I'm like a righteous, I'm like I have a bit, one of my flaws, my ego and I was like, no way. I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let this happen. And Bravo did everything in their power to try to fix it. They were wonderful. You are not giving any housewife a chance to be her authentic self when the production plays favorites. And for what?
Yeah.
For what? An old, used up, what? An unset, what?
Yeah.
I mean, all somebody had to do was see the inside of her house. I mean, her slobbo. No, I mean, when we were filming, I never even went in there, but it was just, oh my God, the decor, the taste. It's like, come on, guys, stop it. No one's buying this. Maybe certain executives are buying it, but not we, the people, are not buying it.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was just in Charleston setting up my daughter, and we were at the Golden Goose store. 6 people in the Golden Goose store on King Street in Charleston. 6. My daughter was like, Mom, is this ever going to stop? It's 8 years now. Came over to me. Hi, I want to give you a hug. I said, I'm a hugger. Let's go.
Right.
And he said, Siggy, you are not my favorite.
Yeah.
Teresa Judah. Every person comes over to me and says, please send Teresa Giudice our love. We got it. We know she's getting a bad edit. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is, bravo. People, we the people out there, they understand what's going on. You're either going to make it fair and square, or there's no use in having the show because it's edited, and the editing is not falling fair to your number one.
It shows that Teresa is so strong that it hasn't broken her yet. Like to say like I'm gone, bye. Like she's still there. She's still there with them playing their games
like which
too.
is hard. I feel like I would leave. I feel like I'd be like this. It is too much for me. But I mean, everyone's different, and I just feel like she's like so old school that she like forgets things real quick, and she's like, whatever, this is how people are supposed to be.
But that's the most unbelievable thing about her. So let me tell you another secret about Teresa.
Yeah.
Teresa used to call me up and say, Siggy, why do you let it affect it so much?
Yeah.
Why? I said, Teresa, I don't care. These producers are not getting away with it. They could call me soggy. They could do whatever I don't care.
Yeah.
I am standing up to them. And she said to me, you know that Teresa, up until recently, never watched the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, she never, I would be cracking up. I'm like, Teresa, no, you never. She goes, no. She recently started watching the show.
I still don't think she even watches it now.
Well, you know, you could ask her that, but I'm talking about, I'm like, you don't watch it? She goes, no, I don't watch it because I know what they're going to, like that's what kept her in the game so long.
Yeah.
You see, when you watch the show and you say, wait a second, they're using that. I never said that. Like everybody was like, oh, Siggy, when you laid down on the floor and said, that's all I ever wanted. We had to do that scene 15 times. Producers are like,
oh my God.
guys, the scene between you guys is so boring that we're about to wrap up and go home. And I'm like, okay, I'll take one for the team. I laid down on the floor. Then afterwards, you know what Melissa and I did in my kitchen in Tenafly, New Jersey? We had chip sauce and guacamole. I mean, come on. I never had any beef with Melissa. What I could say to you about Melissa is she is the most professional housewife. So what do I mean by that? Melissa shows up, she films, she goes home, and she doesn't have anything else to do with it. She's not on the phone. She's not doing research. She's not, no, that's not her. That's not her. And the problem is Teresa always wanted to have, and this is just my opinion. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty good at this. Teresa always wanted to have some sort of relationship with her sister-in-law, and they tried, and Melissa tried, and Teresa tried. But here's where the problem is. Melissa has 3 beautiful, wonderful sisters. Yep. And she is two. I'm sorry, 2. Yeah. So the 3 of them, I'm saying they're like 3, the 3
amigos. Yeah.
The 3 amigos, and they have a wonderful relationship. And Melissa comes from a wonderful family. You know, I met her mother. She was lovely. The whole family is just lovely. And I think that when you have 2 other girls who are your sisters and your blood and you're so close with them, you know, you only have so much time to have other relationships. And I think somewhere down the road, maybe Teresa wanted to have a relationship, and I don't think Melissa was as interested in having a relationship with Teresa as much as Teresa hoped when she came back and out of jail. Yeah. She hoped. And that's where a lot of the resentment comes from. It's long, it's deep. And Joey and Melissa, I mean, Joey loves his wife. Melissa's number 1 to Joe. He's in love with his wife. He isn't leaving his wife, not for his sister, not for anybody. But with Joey he's got a great personality and a wonderful relationship with Teresa. But when, when the going gets tough, you're going to side with your wife. She is the mother of your children. She's the love of your life. And that's unfortunate. And it's very sad that the family is where it is today.
Yeah, I get that. I'm going to have to disagree with you about Melissa's family, but I know that you met them on a personal level. And so
no. Okay. So you were,
I'm
saying I've seen her when we're filming, or her relationship with her sisters. And
I'm sure it's sweet. Yeah.
It was always sweet, but I never hung out with Melissa. I never went out with her sisters. I was always with Teresa. I was always on the Teresa side, because the minute Teresa and I were planning a birthday party for Dolores in 2015, we hit it off. And I love people who can make me laugh. She's no drama. She's fun all day. She's just a fun person to be around. And, everything goes with her. She's just fun. I just love, we click. It's all about chemistry. We just clicked from day one.
Yeah, you guys both have good energies.
We just laugh. Yeah. We'd be sitting in the car and Dolores and I would we'd be sitting in the car cracking on Teresa, and Teresa would be laughing. She just doesn't take anything seriously. She's so much fun. And me and Dolores had me laughing so hard everywhere we went. Where I remember once I actually peed my pants from Dolores.
I'm dying. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, Dolores, get me to the bathroom right now. Get me, Dolores, I'm going to pee. I mean, we had such good times. There was such love and laughter there. And I'm telling you, if producers would only leave us alone and let me do what I needed to do, it would have been great. You wouldn't have red flagged my husband. You wouldn't have red flagged the children. But no, you bet on the wrong horse. You bet on a dying horse. Yeah. That's got nada. Yeah. Nobody's daughter says, I want to grow up and be like Margaret Josephs.
No.
It doesn't happen.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Far
no,
from
thank
that.
you. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I have a big question. Okay. So we find out that Jenn Fessler and you were tight. And so I looked at your Instagram and I saw that over a year ago, you shared that your best friend of 25 years bought you these sunglasses, referring to Jenn Fessler. Yes. And in there, you wrote, love our friendship. You can't buy friendship. That's then Jenn Fessler, she pretty much denies being your friend. We later hear she texted you and apologized. Yes. But how did that feel? Because I mean, literally over a year ago, she's buying you these sunglasses. You're talking about your 25-year friendship.
Listen, Jenn Fessler and I had a 25-year long love affair friendship. When I say love affair, not lesbian love, I'm talking about she was my sunshine. For 25 years. There is no one that she was like, my connection with Dolores on the show, my connection with Jennifer throughout our lives. My family loves her. My sister and her are still best friends. I love her children. I love her husband. I love her family. I have nothing bad to say about Jenn Fessler. I try to bring her on the show. So in the last season that I was on for 2 seasons, when we were going to Melissa and Joe's Italian restaurant, the meatball place. And everybody was saying how rude I was because I wasn't going to the back of the room to say hi to Margaret's mother. And I'm thinking to myself, are these people that dumb? I don't get along with a girl. Why would I want to meet her mother? I mean, the whole storyline was like so dumb. I'm like, how the hell do you guys make up this shit? Why would I, Siggy Flicker, go to the back of the room to meet some girl I can't stand? I'm going to meet her beautiful mom, who, by the way, I think she's a beautiful woman. And, whatever. I didn't mean any disrespect. Why would I want to meet you? I'm not friends with your daughter, and I will never be friends with your daughter. So what do I need to meet you for? Anyway, I brought Jenn to that thing. And at that time, I introduced her to the producers. They mic'd her. She was there with me. We have pictures, me, Jenn, and Melissa being at that thing. So Jenn Fessler wanting to be on the show. I mean, I love it. I don't.
Well, so why did she say that? Like, why would she say that?
Why would she say that? It's called what people do for a job. I don't know. I mean, if you want to be on Housewives and the production company does not like Siggy Flicker. Yeah. She outed them. And you want to be on the show. Now, Margaret thinking she's going to bring Jenn on the show is going to hurt me. That backfired because I think Jen's fun.
She's hilarious.
She's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
hilarious.
To think that, and when my sister called me, she's like, Siggy, Jenn wants you to know that they're editing something that she said that I was never friends with her for 2 minutes. And then I said, Iris, Jenn and I's relationship came to an end, not because of a fight. It's just a relationship ended. I was heading in a different place in my life, and it just went a different way. I just saw Jenn last weekend at my nephew's bar mitzvah. We hugged. She looked gorgeous. there's not, I don't have any ill feelings. Sometimes in life, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. She's not in my life for a lifetime. She was there for a reason. We got through a lot of hard times together. We have history together. I adore her entire family. I love her children like they were mine. I would do anything for her children. Nothing there's nothing. I said to Iris, tell Jenn not to worry about it. If she needs to badmouth Siggy Flicker on the show, tell her she's got my permission, Iris. Iris goes, okay, whatever. I just want you to know that she doesn't want you to think that she's talking about her. The next thing I know, I'm shopping, and all of a sudden I get a beautiful text from Jenn saying, Siggy, I know that Iris told you, and I know that you don't care, but I want you to know that I would never, ever say. I called Bravo. I complained about it. They completely took what I said about somebody else and used it and edited it to say it about you. Obviously, we were not friends for 2.5 seconds. I mean, it's all in a text message that she sent me. And I said, Jenn, I hope that you have a different experience than me. I couldn't wait to leave the swamp, and I hope that the swamp works for you. I love you, and please send my love to the children. That's it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, I mean, and like I said, I literally like looked up both of your guys' Instagram. I saw that you guys really were, it was like a real friendship. So that's why I was just very, very shocked.
Oh no, we lived together 25 years ago. Her sister,
oh my
sister. Yeah, all four of us lived together in Manhattan. Jenn and I traveled together. Jenn and I were BFF. And I got to tell you something. I mean, at the end of the day, she's fun. And, listen, I wish that I could find one negative thing. I can't. I mean, we've been through hell and back. As a matter of fact, when I first got divorced and I came here from Florida, and it was Jennifer that introduced me to Michael Campanella.
Jennifer. Wow. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay,
it was Jennifer that was with me through all the hard years of my life getting divorced from my first marriage. It was Jennifer that wanted to open up her doors and have me and my children live with her when I was going through the worst times of my life. It was Jennifer that when my aunt and uncle came from Israel, and they had, I mean, I was living in a studio apartment, and it was Jennifer that took my Aunt Eliza and Uncle Shimon and said, you could stay in my house in Upper Saddle River. It was Jennifer that's still friends with my sister. I mean, I don't have anything in my head that I could possibly say or even make up and say. So if Jennifer wants to be on the show, then I wish her nothing but health and happiness and a different experience than me.
Yeah, I love that you're being so positive about it. And you're not really taking it personal or anything.
Not at all.
Just going two different ways, and I think that says a lot about you.
I know what the producers would want her to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that it's all BS behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? But
no, I totally get it. Now, do you believe that Margaret and Melissa are actually loyal friends to each other? Do you believe that friendship is real?
No.
No, you don't. Because they're so different from each other.
Not only are they different, you have to understand something about Melissa. She doesn't care.
Yeah. She doesn't care about what, though?
Interesting.
Yeah, she's not. Because I think the opposite. I think she cares so much. She's constantly on social media trying to change the narrative a little bit.
Yes. Okay. So Melissa cares about the show. Melissa cares about Joey, her children, her sisters. There's only a certain amount of friends that Melissa has, and that's all. Everything else is a job.
Yeah.
So do you think that if the show didn't exist tomorrow, that Margaret and Melissa would be friends? Melissa knows that Margaret has pull with the producers. She knows when you're on that show, you're going to say, okay, who's my ride or die on the show? You got to start planning out who you need it for your job. So if I'm working at a studio, if I'm working for a company, I got to go in there and make friends with certain people who are going to have my back in case I show up. You have to start. It's like a chess game. So
and she plays it so well. She plays it so good.
Yeah, she does know how to play the game.
She knows how to play the game, and I told you she's very professional. She was very professional, and I have to say, one time she called me up and there was a thing, Melissa's against Siggy, and and I'm like, oh, okay, you want to fight? Let's fight. So she, let's go, let's do it. But she's always been the kind of person she'll call and say, Sig, listen, I don't understand this. And we talk it out, and then it's over.
Yeah,
and
she gets in front of it. She does get in front of it.
She gets in front of it. She's very, when I say professional, it's a compliment to her, because she takes it as a job and she doesn't take it seriously. So when I say seriously, somebody who's you know, takes it to heart. Like when I came on the show, I took it to heart. I'm like, okay, this is going to be real. This is a real. I didn't know about all that shit that they're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Melissa doesn't take it to heart. So Margaret is her friend on the show. She needs Margaret more than Margaret needs her, because Margaret has ties to production and she needs people on her side who will go up against Teresa.
Yeah.
It's a chess game.
Are you friends with Margaret's ex-best friend, Laura Lee Jensen? Have you heard of her, or were you ever friends with her? Okay, so you don't know her. Because I was wondering, because, you know, she came out and she exposed Margaret. They were friends for 40 years. So I wasn't sure if you had ever met her.
Yeah, but wait, I don't know anything about her. I don't even know who she is. But isn't it interesting how you have somebody like that, but production wouldn't go, and like, why not have her on the show as a friend of the show?
Yeah.
Like, do you understand? You just pointed out something. I've never met her, but I'm saying, here you have Jenn Fessler, who I only have a positive experience with, who's fun and funny and amazing and only been good to me and my entire family. But Margaret, she's friends, supposedly, ride or die BFF. They met each other like 9 months ago, but whatever you want to call it, BFF for life. They're friends, but you wouldn't have somebody else with somebody who was friends with Margaret for 40 years who doesn't have the greatest things to say about her. It just goes to show my point, how two-sided, how this is a two-tiered system that only works for certain people. How to play the game, and by the way, they know how to get the fans. They know exactly what to say to the fans, because it's nothing that these people do is authentic. Teresa's authentic, Jacqueline's authentic, Dolores is authentic, and even that one Jen Aiden. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I met Jen Aiden years ago through Serena, who used to own she used to do all the beautiful events and the invitations and stuff like that. And I met her because she came to a grand opening for Serena's new store that opened up in Cresskill. I don't know if it's still there. And I said, wow, this girl's a riot. This girl says it like it is.
You guys would get along. Yeah, you guys would get along if you were on the show.
And that was the first time and the last time I met her. But I said to Serena, what? She should be a housewife. She's hysterical.
Yeah.
She says it like it is. She has no fear. I mean, another one, you know, I thought that was great casting. But I'm just saying, here you go. How one-sided it is. How one-sided it is. But
so
listen,
true.
it keeps on backfiring on them. You know what you do? You take a dead fish and you try to prop it up and put some lipstick on it, maybe put a tutu on it. It's still a dead fish.
Yeah.
It ain't going anywhere. No one can. And the funny thing is, I sometimes keep quiet and I just listen. And my friends will call me up and they'll talk at St. Andrew's Country Club and all the country clubs here. You know, all the girls got together and they all talk. Nada. No one. Every time I hear, they're like, they don't understand the casting. They're like, why is this? They don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't understand. What the hell is she doing? Like, who cares? Boring. Next.
I think they think with Margaret, she just kind of brings it because she puts all of everyone else's business out there. So that's why they're like, we like the messy in her.
Okay.
But it goes too far.
No. Not only they like the messy in that, but I want those same people to think that when you're creating a show and you have one person who's going to go into your past. Now, everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. I want you to think of the character of the person who will actually do it to harm your family. So when you're sitting there in your dorm room or wherever you are watching the show, you're saying, oh my God, look at these idiots. Thank God it's not me. Or look at these jackasses. But I want you to think of how hurtful it is. There's a line that shouldn't ever be crossed. And that is the line that she continues to cross and get a free, like, oh, it's okay, like a free check. Like the fact that she gets a platform and she keeps on crossing this disgusting line. Think of the character. Would you want that person sitting at your dinner table?
Absolutely
Knowing. Not. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, it's a show for everybody else. But for the other girls who are actually living their life on air, it's it's very hurtful, and it causes a lot of trouble within the family unit.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen, that it caused so much issues for everyone else. And she
Yeah.
kind of is just, like she does whatever. I mean, she called Jennifer Aiden a drug addict and nothing happened. If that was any other franchise, there would be some consequence. And she called her a drug addict, and literally,
right.
yeah, a mom of five, 5 kids, she called her a drug addict, and it was like swept under the rug. And I was shocked by that.
Right. Now think about this, if on another housewife show, if you were to reference the LGBT community, or you were to reference, the KKK, that would have been on the front pages of the New York Times.
Yeah.
But here on Jersey Housewives, it doesn't matter. Everything is a go with this girl. She could do whatever she wants, and everything is a go. And here's a mother. How many kids does Jenn Aiden have?
5.
Yeah.
So she has got 5 kids, and then she's got to go around, and somebody who might just come home and just hear that soundbite is now looking at her with thinking, oh, that girl, I heard that she was a drug addict. That's not right to do. That's not right to do. That's crossing line. But at the end of the day, she don't care.
Exactly.
She don't care.
Yeah, that's
because what has she got to lose?
Right.
Her husband, who's a fabulous guy. Like I said, a fabulous plumber. She cheated on her first husband with the plumber, and he can't clean out the pipes. So what has she got? What has she got going on?
Yeah,
nothing.
Trust me, we're with you. We say that all the time. So no, yeah, we agree with that completely.
Yeah. Where the hell is she going? She's like, it's like hitting a brick wall. She's running and hitting a brick wall. Where does she got to go? Yeah. It's already played out to step it up and give the viewer what the viewer wants. And that is authenticity.
Yeah.
They want the Teresa Giudices out there because they pour their heart and soul and they give it their all. And at the end of the day, they go back to their lives. And don't forget, she's got 4 kids.
Yeah.
And I think it's just sad all the way around how certain people get portrayed and certain people get a free pass. Yeah. And that's why I decided after 8 years or 7 years to come out and finally say, listen, it's time for the truth. Like enough is enough.
Yeah.
Every day somebody says, oh, another season, she's bringing up your name again. And I'm like, wait a second. Do they not have any storylines that they keep on bringing up Soggy Siggy?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Seriously,
iconic.
I'm not that interested. Listen, I love myself, but I'm not that interesting. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely. So
we're so glad you did. We're so glad that you wanted to talk about it.
I know. Well, I'm so happy. Well, I mean, like I did. I was like, can you please talk to us? I think this will be so interesting. Now, I have one last question. Is there anything else that you could tell us that would shock viewers about your experience or just anything related to the show?
Well, I told you guys that, the witch reached out to my husband's ex-wife,
which is crazy.
Which is thank God that I'm one of the smartest Jews around, that I pulled the rug before it could harm my family.
Yeah.
And nothing to hide, but my children are my life. All 4 of my kids, my stepchildren are my children. I'm responsible for them financially, physically, emotionally. I love them to death. They are, amazing, amazing children. And I'm grateful to have them. That could have been a very, very harmful, negative, tragic thing for them. And I pulled the rug. So,
it proves Margaret has an arsenal on everybody and tries
everybody.
to. Yeah.
Wait. I'm not going to say, but I want you to use, because you both are very smart. Who do you think supplies her with the arsenal?
Production.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I think she does want to please them. So I do think that production,
why? Why?
So she could, have this job and everything.
It's all phony.
Yeah.
Some of the housewives that you think are so wealthy don't have a pot to piss in. They rely on these salaries so they can maintain the lifestyle that they don't have if they're not on the show.
Yeah,
there are some who have money and there are some who don't. But I'm saying at the end of the day, do you pretty much get the point. You want to stay on the show and make your salary, which, by the way, if anybody ever knew what the salaries were, you guys would laugh in somebody's faces. This is what you do for fame and fortune. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. At the end of the day, is it really worth it? Yeah. Like when I left the show, people were like, do you miss it? I'm like, wait, guys, you can't be that dumb. No, seriously. I was on for 2 seasons. I already have the fame. people already recognize me. So that took care of the ego part. And I've got the fortune. I've got a husband who provides very well. And he said to me, Siggy, honey, you are to stay home and be the CEO of our household. And anything that you want to do, I will give you 3 times the amount just to be my wife and the mother to our children. I don't need it. So what would be in it for me? Nothing.
Yeah, you never made the show your life. And a lot of the housewives come on from any of the seasons, they do that. So if they get fired or they leave, they have like an identity crisis. And I think that didn't happen to you. Yeah.
No, but you have to, even if Housewives was your show, and I have to use Bethany Frankel as an example. Here's a brilliant businesswoman. She made New York. She was New York, Bethany Frankel, whether you like her or not. She gave the show her all. She went on and filmed and didn't give a rat's ass what anybody thought. And when they needed her to up it up, she upped it up. She did whatever she did. She's authentically who she is, whether you like her or not. But here's a woman who's got the smarts to say, wait a second, I'm going to use this platform. And I don't need the show anymore for a platform. And that was brilliant. It was a brilliant move. And you have to be that smart, like Elisa Vanderpump. When I met her, I sat and talked to her, in her restaurant in LA. Here's a woman who owns restaurants, who's still part of the Bravo. But I'm just saying, they have something. They have a foundation. A lot of these housewives, once they're off the show, they don't have a business.
Yeah.
They don't have a foundation. What are they going to do?
Tamra.
Sorry.
Tamra from Orange
right.
County,
They don't have anything. So they have to up it up on the show and be the loudest. And they have to be the witchiest because they've got to show Bravo, I'm going to keep my place on the show because they're desperado.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. And we come, trust me, we're on this podcast. That's exactly what we say. And that's why we do appreciate the people who aren't that desperate and who do have things going on outside of it. But I am just so glad that we were able to talk to you. We had so many questions coming in for you. So I know you haven't spoken in years. And again, we reached out to you. So I am so glad that you were able to speak to us. And I think you said a lot of great things that are going to open a lot of people's eyes and prove a lot of what, certain sides have said. So,
but just remember, at the end of the day, I appreciate you guys. It's the first time I've spoken out. I'm probably not going to speak about it again because between you and I'm not an obsessed, housewife.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's the first time I opened up and I talked, and it's great. And it's going to open up a lot of minds. But at the end of the day, it's not about convincing anybody because the people who get it. And the people who don't, people who don't. We're talking about the show that just aired. You don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of messages I got. Siggy, episode 2, they're bringing up your name. Do you know somebody by the name of Jenn? And I'm like, yeah, I love Jenn. Why? Teresa called me up months prior and said, oh my God, they're going to interview, this girl, Jenn. I'm like, Teresa, that's good. Yeah. Teresa has what I wrote about it. I said, Teresa, she's fun. Yeah. You don't have to worry about Jenn. Jenn doesn't have an evil bone in her body. She's not an evil person. She doesn't, she's just whatever. She deserves it. Let her do it. And it's just the people who get it, and the people who don't. So I appreciate that you two do what you do to try to get the truth out there or a different opinion out there.
Yeah.
And I hope that it's a successful podcast and it brings you
No, this was amazing. Like great. This was great. Like I'm like laughing in my head half the time. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, no,
and if you guys are ever in Boca, come visit me. I'll take you
to dinner. That is so sweet. Thank you
so much.
If you're ever in Michigan, you can
here.
Oh, and you're in Michigan?
We're in Michigan, yeah.
Oh, love Michigan.
Wow. Good.
Love. Yes. A lot of my nieces go to University of Michigan. Great school. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And Teresa's daughter is going there too.
I know. Gabriella. She's a bright one. She's such a beautiful soul.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Siggy.
Thank you so much,
Siggy.
Thank you,
ladies.
Thank you
Best
for
of
doing
luck.
This with us.
God bless.
Thank you. Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you. Okay,
bye.
Be sure to check out allabouttrh.com for everything Real Housewives and Bravo TV. And please make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at allabouttrh podcast.